How to Create a Glitch Monologues Season 5 Chapter 7. This is the 7th episode of Season 5 of How to Create a Glitch in the Matrix Monologues. In this episode 1 we'll be discussing the importance of social tension to the operation of the system. The origin of all social tension is through one of the four principles underlying the system. Namely, dialectical pairing. Thoughts pair, which means that for every thesis there is an antithesis. The juxtaposition of the two produces tension. In social dynamics, the interaction of two individuals is as dialectical stand-ins. One contingent acts as the thesis. The second contingent acts as the antithesis. Together they produce social tension. The relationship between the tonic and the dominant produces a unidirectional path to emotional tension. As the tonic expresses the internal thoughts of some tension, that tension is transmitted to the posture, posing and body mechanics of the receiver through the medium of the dominant's mind. The dominant dissipates that tension through postural releases. On the larger scale, the consensual reality is juxtaposed with the shadow parts of our being, the inhibited impulses that are nevertheless expressed in our absence, or through body switching. The juxtaposition of these two realities, created by our presence and absence, is dialectical and pregnant with tension. Tension is the product of all these dialectical opposites. And it is that tension that drives us forward. But there is another pathway that produces tension. Another pathway that drives us forward. It is the pathway of direct ground, or suppositional thought. Each suppositional thought alleviates tension, which is reflected by the contingency forming in its shadow. Think of the substance of reality as being joined by a myriad array of dialectical switches. These switches are the appendages of the moment, behind the outcome of seemingly chance events. These dialectical switches ordinarily work by countering thesis with antithesis, thereby preserving tension. But if one relies upon suppositional thought processes, one can predictably alter the outcome of events. Imagine for example that you are driving down a highway above the speed limit. Imagine for a moment that you have done something horribly wrong, such as committed a crime. The officer notices that you are speeding and pulls you over. As you see the police officer in your rearview, you have a choice. You can keep driving, or you can pull over and resist arrest. You can do all the myriad things that he would expect you to do if you were guilty of a crime. Such would be the indirect ground pathway. Such would be the pathway which confirms the truth of that contingency. Or you can act as he would never expect you to, if indeed you were guilty of a crime. You can willingly, even happily submit yourself to his authority with the expectation that you will end up incarcerated. You can do so with reliance, with joy even, knowing full well what is about to happen. This is what it is to embrace suppositional thinking. To embrace the moment, to act with faith. And here's the rub. Because maybe, just maybe, your genuine, carefree demeanor, your mood, your attitude, your positivity, will provoke little caution, suspicion or alarm. And he will let you go, not realizing that you are guilty of a crime. Such is the pathway of direct ground. Now imagine flipping the script like this with every event you can't control. Imagine embracing the moment with such credulity that you can literally shape your own reactions, your own attitudes, and in so doing can you direct the hand of fate. That's the end of the podcast for today. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment and subscribe.